Here he comes. Well, with the I love those things. With the International Model Railway Exhibition opening at the Royal Horticultural Halls here in London. Not even drinking. Here in London on Saturday, I've got a couple of tickets for it. It seemed appropriate to meet Thomas's creator, the Reverend W. Awdry.
Welcome.
It's wonderful. Yes. Do you know, I've had various train sets, as I'm sure most of us have in the audience, and they never worked that well for me. I could never get the tracks together, you know, to work properly. The things would always break and fall over, and it's wonderful to see something.
Oh,
like
you wanted a permanent layout like
Do you?
this.
Have you got one of those?
I've got one.
Have you?
It's been on the exhibition circuit since 1963, and I first showed it at the Model Railway Club exhibition, Easter exhibition at Central Hall.
You've always been
And
obsessed.
now
haven't
I've
you?
come back
Yeah.
to open the International Model Railway exhibition at Central Hall Saturday. 11 o'clock.
You've been obsessed with steam trains though all your life, haven't
Well, I was brought up on
Yeah.
railways in an amateur sort of way.
you? Yeah. Did you live near a railway station or what?
My father was a keen amateur railwayman. He was vicar of Ampfield between Winchester and Romsey.
Yeah.
And I remember, when I was 3 or 4, going for walks with my father through the parish. And our favourite walk was to go up down to Baddesley Bridge, climb up the embankment and walk along the track. Nobody ever turned us away. The gangers were all my father's parishioners, and they knew him. And my father had a gauge 3 model railway in the vicarage garden. And from time to time, he'd have steam days, and he'd invite these railway chaps along, and they'd have a fine time putting the Parson railwayman right.
Yes. It was the wonderful sound that steam, right? For some reason we don't get the same sound out of diesel or electric, do we?
No.
The old steam.
No, a steam engine is an extrovert. He likes to know, likes you to know, how he's doing or how badly he's been treated.
Yeah.
He's always got something to say.
Can you detect from what he says how badly he's been treated or how well he's feeling?
Oh, yes.
Well, give me a badly treated sound then.
When I was small, I lived at Box.
Yeah.
And there's a gradient there between Box and Caution. And at night, lying in bed, I'd hear a goods train draw up at Box Station and crow for the banker. Beep, beep, beep. Then the banker would come out of the shed, buffer up behind, and crow, beep, beep, beep. And then you'd hear the train starting. The goods, the train engine would puff in so as to say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And the banker would come up behind, oh yes you can, oh yes you can, oh yes you
Yeah,
can.
you can put any words you like to train sounds, can't you?
Yes.
All that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Now, what about Thomas the Tank Engine? You see, it's proved to be enormously popular all over the world with children who are a generation away from steam. They've never been on a steam train. They've never even seen a steam train except maybe in the films. What's the reason for the popularity? Have you ever thought why?
I just don't know, except that my children find themselves able to identify with the different characters of my engines. There's Percy, always ready for a joke, poor, bare practical joke on someone.
And Gordon?
Yes, Gordon is rather the bossy sort of type.
Yeah, pompous, yes. And then there's Thomas, who's the greatest favourite.
Because I call Gordon after a small boy whose name actually was Gordon, who used to play with my small son. He was a bossy type.
Yeah.
And so Gordon, as a name for a bossy engine, was a natural.
Be careful now, he might well sue you for that, you know. If he's still about.
I haven't let out who he was.
Not a sound of the surname. But I mean, it has been marvellous, Thomas the Tank Engine. The Thomas the Tank Engine books, Thomas the Tank Engine, everything's bags, books.
You can't miss Thomas
pens.
nowadays.
No, can you?
No.
How did it become so international? What happened?
I just don't know.
Did you write it for yourself, or did you write it for you? Who'd you write it for?
Well, when you're writing a children's book, you're writing for a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
You're writing for yourself to make sure that you've got it researched right. You're writing for the unfortunate parents who've got to read it aloud time after time after time after time. You've got to put in little funny bits, subtle bits, which they'll enjoy. And then there's the simple slapstick stuff, which the child will enjoy.
Tell me, what did your parishioners think when they realised that they had a priest who was writing children's stories in his spare time?
Well, I think they were rather proud to have me a bit notorious, but all the same, they thought me a bit crackers to be interested in railway trains. We wonder if he's any brains. He's interested in railway train.
Yes, goodness, it's a sign of high intelligence. Now, I know your wife is watching, and she hasn't been feeling all that well. We wish her a very speedy recovery if she is watching, but wish her well very soon. And also to the railway exhibition, which is coming up in the horticultural halls, and to you, continued success with Thomas. And it's a great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much, Terry.
Thank you, sir.